Okay guys, hello and welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to talk about something that people often say regarding going out clubbing and partying hard and drinking and having lots of casual sex in their 20s or, even before that for that matter. People will often say, oh, I just getting it out of my system, or people will say it more in retrospect. They'll be, yeah, I partied hard in my early 20s, got it all out of my system, and now I don't go out so much. People often say that, don't they? And I'm just gonna talk a bit about it today because I'm not convinced it really works like that. I think it can appear that it works that way. And what that means for you, because I think I've misinterpreted this, like the truth of this, as well. So, I don't think you get partying out of your system as such, because what that kind of implies is, like, well, for a start, what that implies is like what's going to happen. Well, let's just ask that question actually. What is going to happen if you don't get it out of your system? Like what is going to happen there? Like, this is a bit grim maybe, but like, let's say you're really ill and you have to throw up. That's kind of getting it out of your. That's the kind of image that's it's conjuring up, right? You're really ill. You've eaten something bad. You need to throw up. You need to get all that bad stuff out of your system. That's kind of the image that's being conveyed, and actually, when you compare it to that, it's actually quite a negative image. But yeah, what exactly is going to happen if you don't go out partying, and getting drunk and having sex with lots of girls? So what exactly is going to happen? For it to be get it out of your system, and people don't really think about it like this ever, but I guess if they were to answer, and I'll sort of my own perspective on this from being someone who had this approach as well, I guess would be something like, if I don't do it, I'll sort of regret it when I'm older. If I don't go out partying, I'll regret it when I'm older, or something like that. So I don't know. It's just an interesting image. But anyway, is that necessarily true? Well, I think that the image of someone, of like getting it out of your system, is the wrong image for partying. I think a better image would be something like, let's say you move to a new town, and there's a park nearby where you live, right? Or a village or whatever. And there's a little route that you go through this park every evening, let's say. And you do this park, this route in the park, and you really like it. And then one day you take a different route, and then you realise there's this whole other part of the park that you never even seen before, and you're just going round this park for miles, and then it's like, wow, I didn't even know that part of the park was there. Now, it's not to say you can't go back and do the route that you were doing before, and it's always nice to vary it up a bit, but there's so much more to explore in this other part of the park that you haven't even realised. That's the kind of not very catchy, but that's the kind of image that I think you need to conjure up when you're thinking of the thing what's going on when people are partying, and like partying when you're young and then sort of not partying so much when you're older. That's closer to it. I've done another video entitled "Partying doesn't get less exciting, life gets more exciting," And it's exactly what I'm trying to convey in this image. It's like partying, if you haven't guessed already. Partying is like the little route you do around the park, and then finding your life's purpose is the big other part of the park that you didn't even know existed. That's kind of more how I think of it nowadays. Because I was someone who really thought that partying was something I would get. I guess what I thought was partying was something that I would. It was like a level I had to complete. That's a good way of putting it. It's like a level that I had to complete, and I would eventually unlock something out of playing the level. And then that's why I wouldn't do it as much. I guess that's why I sort of, because I'm not criticizing this people for thinking that like partying is kind of about getting it out of your system, because that is kind of I thought that as well. But like I was saying, I guess that was kind of what it was. It was like I expected to unlock something. You know, it would be like sort of going around that same block in the park, and then expecting one day to unlock that part of the park, you know. And so I'm in a situation now where like I've got every opportunity to go out, you know. I've like got good friends here in Manchester, and but all of a sudden I'm like, actually no, I don't particularly want to, and it's frustrating because I know like, obviously you can go out at every age and stuff, but like I know that in terms of partying, you know, I'm 22 now, like I'm still like early 20s, but it's not gonna last forever. You know, the opportunity to go out every weekend, it's just not. You know, I mean, I guess people, yeah, I guess that's still quite a long. But you know what I mean. Like it's even though I've got this kind of opportunity, and I know this opportunity is gonna go, whether for the better or for the worst, I still kind of think I've still had this realization that there's something bigger that I want from life, and that what I've always wanted from life isn't actually gained from going out and partying. It's actually detrimental to do that kind of stuff. Now, it's still important to go out, socialise, and celebrate victories, you know, and, you know, like, if you can find a good relationship with alcohol, it's just fantastic, you know, it's really good. And, you know, there's some amazing, you meet some great people, you know, all this kind of stuff. I'm not denying any of this, but like, a lot of it is detrimental as well. And, yeah, well, to get back to it, I think you can realize, that's not got anything to do with how much I was partying as such. It's just that I, by accident, discovered that there's a whole other meaning to my life through self-improvement, basically. And similarly, and so I think you can stumble across that at any age. It's not really to do with how much you go out partying. You know, you get people on Hamza's channel, on his coach calling videos and stuff, who are like 16, you know, 15, like really young, and they're always already on self-improvement. Now, you know, does that mean, you know, they're, who knows what life's got in store for them, right? You know, I think in a sense it's not a bad idea to have gone through some of the partying stuff, so you know what it's like, and then get on self-improvement. But the fundamental switch that's gone on in their brain is the same thing that's the switch that's gone on in my brain regarding what life's all about, like what you actually want from life. That's already happened. And it's not really a question of how much partying they've done before they've unlocked that. So I just think, I don't know, if you feel like you're what I'm trying to say really, I think, is if you feel like you're going out a lot, you're partying a lot, and you think that you're meant to get something out of it that you're not getting. Don't be so sure, really, because like, much though it makes me sound very boring to admit it, like, it's really not that much fun. Like, partying. You know, do it every now and again, and it's the best thing ever. But it just gets old so quickly. And you have to have more. There's really not that much to be gained from it. So yeah, it's that sort of epiphany where you stop going out so much and stop doing other things. It's not what I've realised from going through it myself. It's not actually me getting more boring. I'm not more boring for not going out every weekend. In fact, I'm infinitely more interesting because I'm actually doing stuff with my life. You know, now, okay, like some people, you know, it depends how you get off partying. You know, like some people do become more boring, sure. But this is because they get sort of weighed down by a job or something. You know, like they're doing 9 to 5, they don't have the energy to go out at the weekend anymore, so just go home and watch, you know, Friends. It's like, yeah, you're probably worse off. You know, you're probably less interesting than the guy who's going out partying. But by even then, still by a tiny amount, because trust me, I've worked in nightclubs. The regulars at clubs are the most boring people you could meet, because it's just, there's no substance to what they're spending their time doing. And one thing you can be sure as fuck about is if you're partying regularly, you're not really doing anything else with your life. So you've got no opportunity to really grow and get exciting, you know, be interested about something. Because all of your energy is just going out, right? And, you know, it sounds boring as fuck, like staying in, working on a business, sitting behind a computer screen all day, you know, going for a walk, going to the gym, maybe having a cute little meal with a good friend, and you know, go to you know, pub for one drink, and then, you know, cute little visit to, you know, go to the countryside on the weekends. You know, it just sounds so much more interesting to be like just fucked off your face and staggering into a club and music's blaring. Like, I'm just describing, it sounds so much more interesting, and like everyone's, you know, chatting to girls, and, you know, but it's just not. This is the thing. The other life is just so much more interesting, and it's bizarre that it works like that. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys found this interesting.